Controlling your emotions can feel like a constant struggle, a battle within yourself. You hear all the advice about staying assertive and how you should react in ways that are more socially acceptable or respected. But when emotions hit you at the worst times, it's hard to keep it together. Maybe you're defending your point so intensely that you start sweating. Your heart's racing, and it feels like you're on the verge of exploding. Now try to look at it from a different angle. Is being right in every argument really that important to you? What does that say about your ability to recognize and manage your own emotions? Do you ever regret your reactions once the dust settles? Maybe you've thought, I shouldn't have acted like that. It would have been smarter if I had kept my cool. Imagine a different scenario. You're stepping back as an observer, assessing the situation without bias. In the grand scheme of things, it's not about who wins the argument. It's about understanding your feelings. How do you feel afterward? A sense of calm, confidence, and mental strength takes over. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you feel anger bubbling up and think you need to unleash everything you're feeling, pause for a moment. You don't have to say everything that comes to your mind. Your happiness should take priority, not proving you're right. Constantly giving in to the urge to vent your frustrations because someone doesn't see things your way or it feels unfair only leads to more unhappiness. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a breath. Recognize that it's okay to disagree. By letting go of the need to be right, you open the door to real peace and understanding. In this video, we're diving into 8 powerful Stoic lessons that will empower you to become a master of your emotions. Before we jump in, I'd really appreciate your support. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps me share the Stoic philosophy with more people. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll always be updated with my latest videos. Thanks for being here. 1. Control begins with perception. Control begins where your perception sharpens. Most of the time, it's not the actual event that messes with your emotions. It's how you choose to see it. It's like putting on tinted glasses. Everything starts looking different even though nothing outside has changed. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic and your blood is boiling. But what's really making you upset? Is it the traffic, or is it your mind telling you that you're wasting time, that you should be somewhere else right now? The fact is, you're in traffic, but your emotional chaos stems from your interpretation of that fact. The Stoics believed that events themselves are neutral. It's our perception that gives them meaning. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In other words, when you see things objectively, you're already on your way to mastering your emotions. Let's break it down. You get an email from your boss with some critical feedback. Instantly, your heart races and you feel like you're being attacked. But pause. What are the facts here? The fact is, your boss gave you feedback. That's it. Your emotions, however, have created a story where you're under fire. But if you strip it down to the truth, just feedback, it's a lot easier to keep your cool. Imagine your emotions as a raging river. Your perception is like a dam. If you can control how much water flows through, you'll never drown in it. This is why controlling your perception is key. If you let your emotions flood in without checking your interpretation first, you'll be overwhelmed every time. When you master the art of seeing things as they truly are, you start to own your reactions. You take control, not just of the situation, but of yourself. Emotions become tools, not rulers. Your perception, when disciplined, keeps you grounded in reality, not tossed around by feelings. 2. Pause before you respond. In the heat of the moment, it's so easy to react instantly, but that's where we usually mess up. When emotions are high, our reactions tend to be messy, and we often end up saying or doing things we regret. But here's the thing. There's power in taking a moment before you respond. That tiny pause can be the difference between handling a situation calmly or blowing it up. Imagine you're in an argument with a friend. They say something hurtful, and your first instinct is to snap back. You're ready to fire off a response, but what if you paused for just a second? What if instead of letting your emotions take over, You gave yourself time to think. That pause is where your control kicks in. It gives you a chance to cool down and respond with intention, not just emotion. Think of your response like an arrow. Once you shoot it, there's no getting it back. You want to make sure you're aiming at the right target, not just shooting wildly. Pausing before you respond is like taking that moment to aim carefully, making sure you're hitting the mark and not just causing damage. When you pause, you're giving yourself a moment to separate the facts from your emotions. Just like we talked about earlier, you might be angry, frustrated, or hurt, but in that brief pause, you can ask yourself, is this how I really want to react? That one question can save you from a lot of unnecessary conflict and regret. Let's say your boss criticizes your work in front of your coworkers. Your first reaction might be to feel embarrassed or defensive, and you want to argue back. But if you take a second to pause, you can respond calmly. Maybe even ask for clarification instead of reacting with emotion. That pause not only helps you keep your cool, but also shows strength and self-control. Reacting immediately feels good in the moment, but it rarely helps in the long run. Pausing is a sign of emotional maturity and strength. It shows that you're not controlled by your feelings. Instead, you control them. That's real power. The kind of power that Stoics like Marcus Aurelius talked about. You're not just reacting. You're choosing your response. And that choice is everything. The next time you feel anger bubbling up or frustration hitting hard, take a deep breath. Pause. You'll be amazed at how much clarity you get in that short moment. And once you've mastered this, you'll find yourself handling life's challenges with more calm and confidence. You're no longer reacting out of anger or frustration. You're responding with purpose. 3. Accept what is out of your hands. One of the toughest things in life is learning to accept what you can't control. You want things to go a certain way, but sometimes, no matter what you do, things fall apart. Trying to control things that are out of your hands only leads to stress, frustration, and anxiety. The real power comes from accepting what you can't control and focusing on what you can. Life is exactly like that. There are a lot of things, other people's opinions, how they treat you, bad luck, the timing of things, that are completely out of your control. You can't control if someone likes you, if you get the job, or if things always go your way, but you can control how you respond to it. Picture life like a river. You're in a boat rowing along. Some days the water is calm and it's smooth sailing. Other days the river's rough, with rapids and obstacles you didn't see coming. You can't control the river, but you can control your boat. How you steer it, how you ride the waves. Fighting the river won't change it, but learning how to row through it will get you where you need to go. Accepting what's out of your hands doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you put your energy into the things you can control, your actions, your attitude, and your mindset. Instead of wasting time and energy trying to change the unchangeable, focus on what you can improve. That's where your power is. Let's say you studied hard for a test but didn't get the grade you wanted. You can't change that result. You can't go back in time and retake the test. What's done is done, but you can control how you react. You can learn from it, prepare better for the next one, and keep going. Dwelling on what you can't fix won't help. Focusing on what you can do next will. In life, we all face things that feel unfair or out of our control, but by accepting those things instead of fighting them, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress. You let go of what's weighing you down, and suddenly, you have more energy to focus on making the best of what's in front of you. True strength isn't about controlling everything. It's about controlling yourself. Accepting what you can't change gives you peace. It allows you to focus on what you can control and make the most of your life. That's what the Stoics believed. It's not the world you need to conquer. It's how you handle the world that makes all the difference. 4. Practice emotional detachment. Emotions can be wild. One moment you're calm and collected, and the next, something or someone triggers you and suddenly you're overwhelmed. Practicing emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop feeling anything. It just means you learn to control your reactions. It's about putting some space between yourself and your emotions so they don't control you. Imagine you're in a game of dodgeball. The ball is like your emotions. It's coming at you fast and hard. If you don't move, you get hit. But if you take a step back, if you put some space between you and the ball, you have the chance to dodge it or catch it. That's what emotional detachment is. It gives you that breathing room to think before you react. When you practice emotional detachment, you stop letting every little thing get to you. You're not avoiding your feelings, but you're learning to observe them. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, you can pause and ask yourself, is this something worth getting upset about? Or can I choose to let it go? Picture yourself as a mountain, strong, steady, and unmoved by the weather. Whether it's sunny, raining, or storming, the mountain stands tall. The weather represents your emotions. Emotions will come and go, sometimes gently, sometimes violently. But you, like the mountain, remain solid. You're grounded in who you are, no matter what's happening around you. When you learn emotional detachment, you gain power. You're no longer at the mercy of other people's words or actions. You're no longer pulled into drama or negativity. Instead, you remain calm and collected, making decisions from a place of clarity, not from a place of heated emotion. This is where real freedom lies, when you are no longer controlled by your feelings but by your own choices. Let's say you're at work, and a coworker takes credit for something you did. Your first instinct might be frustration, maybe even resentment. You feel overlooked and unappreciated, and the urge to snap back or confront them starts to rise. But instead of reacting in the moment, you choose to detach. You take a breath and step back mentally. Is getting angry and confronting them right now going to fix the situation? Probably not. Instead, you stay calm, realizing that your value isn't determined by someone else's actions. You decide to address it later, when you're thinking clearly, rather than letting it ruin your focus and mood for the rest of the day. By detaching, you protect your peace and remain in control of your emotions. Imagine how much lighter your life would feel if you weren't constantly reacting to every emotion. You'd have more peace of mind, more control over your actions, and more energy to focus on what really matters. Emotional detachment doesn't make you cold, it makes you strong. It's about being able to choose how you respond to life, instead of letting life dictate your emotions. One way to practice emotional detachment is by asking yourself, will this matter tomorrow? Next week? Next year? Often, we get worked up over things that won't matter in the long run. Emotional detachment helps you zoom out, see the bigger picture, and decide if it's really worth your energy. 5. Anticipate setbacks. Let's face it, life isn't perfect and things don't always go as planned. No matter how much effort you put in, setbacks will happen. The key is not to let them throw you off. Instead, get in the mindset of expecting obstacles. When you prepare yourself for challenges, they won't seem so overwhelming when they pop up. It's not about being negative, it's about being ready. Picture yourself walking down a path, knowing that sooner or later, you're going to trip over a rock. If you're expecting it, you won't be as surprised or frustrated when it happens. You'll just get back up and keep walking. This is how life works too. By anticipating setbacks, you can handle them without losing your cool. You take a deep breath, figure out what's next, and keep moving forward. As Epictetus said, the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. The truth is, we can't control what happens around us, but we can control how we react to it. Setbacks aren't the end. They're just detours. And sometimes those detours lead to better opportunities or valuable lessons. So instead of getting upset, remind yourself that setbacks are part of the journey. When challenges come your way, ask yourself, how can I grow from this? This shift in mindset will change the way you see obstacles. They're no longer barriers to success, but stepping stones to progress. Every time you face a setback, you're given a chance to strengthen your resilience and sharpen your emotional control. So the next time life doesn't go as planned, you'll be ready to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward. 6. Turn challenges into growth. Life throws challenges at all of us. No one is exempt, but it's how you choose to face those challenges that matters. You've got two options. Let them defeat you, or use them to make yourself stronger. Challenges can either hold you back or push you forward. The difference comes from your mindset. Instead of seeing problems as things that stand in your way, look at them as chances to grow. Imagine teaching your kid to ride a bike. At first, they wobble, lose balance, and might even fall a few times. It's hard to watch, and they might get frustrated or even cry. But you know these little falls are part of the process. Without them, they wouldn't learn how to balance or steer. You don't rush in to stop every fall because you know those stumbles are helping them grow. Life's setbacks work the same way for us. Every challenge we face is like watching your kid stumble on that bike. It's tough, but it's necessary. Each tough moment is building your emotional balance, teaching you patience, and helping you become more resilient. You get up each time with more strength, just like your kid will eventually ride that bike confidently. Without those stumbles, none of us would grow into who we're meant to be. So next time life knocks you down, remember, it's just another lesson helping you steer better for the future. Remember the Stoic principle: what stands in the way becomes the way. This means that the obstacle in front of you is not something to avoid or be afraid of. It's actually the path you need to walk. If you face it head on, you'll come out the other side stronger. Challenges aren't walls you can't get past. They're stepping stones you can use to climb higher. So the next time life gets tough, don't waste time asking, "Why me?" Instead, flip the script and ask, "What can this teach me?" Every obstacle has something valuable hidden inside. It could be teaching you patience, showing you how to bounce back, or pushing you to think outside the box. Whatever the lesson is, it's there to make you stronger. Challenges aren't there to stop you. They're there to show you how far you can go. You have the power to turn every tough moment into a chance to level up. Don't run from resistance, lean into it, and let it make you better. 7. Cultivate inner calm through journaling. You might think it's just writing down thoughts, but it's so much more than that. Journaling is like having a one-on-one conversation with yourself. It helps you clear out the clutter in your mind and sort through your emotions. When things get chaotic, instead of letting the storm rage on inside you, grab a pen and write it down. You'd be surprised how much calmer you feel after just a few minutes of putting your thoughts on paper. Now imagine this. You've had a rough day at work, and everything seems to be going wrong. Your mind's racing, and you can't seem to get a grip on your emotions. Instead of letting that frustration fester, take out your journal. Write about what happened, just get it all out. But here's the trick. Don't just vent, reflect on it. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? How can I improve tomorrow? Journaling isn't just about unloading your problems. It's about finding solutions, gaining perspective, and creating a space to grow. Think of journaling as a mental reset button. It helps you step back and observe your feelings without being controlled by them. You're not just reacting to life anymore. You're taking a moment to understand and process what's going on inside you. That's how you cultivate inner calm. You stop letting your emotions run the show and start mastering them, one journal entry at a time. If Marcus Aurelius found time to journal and reflect, you can too. He wrote down his thoughts, his struggles, and his lessons. And that's why we have his wisdom today. Journaling isn't just for sorting out problems. It's also for building yourself up, understanding your mind, and creating the calm you need to face life's challenges with strength. 8. The power of gratitude. When things aren't going your way, or when life just feels like too much, it's tempting to focus on everything that's going wrong. But here's the real trick. Gratitude lets you flip that narrative. It moves your focus from what you don't have to what's already there. Instead of getting stuck on what's missing, you start noticing the good that's right in front of you. Imagine you've had a terrible day. Work didn't go as planned, and nothing seems to be going right. You feel overwhelmed, maybe even a little hopeless. But then, your friend checks in with a quick text, or your partner listens to you vent over dinner. It's easy to take these moments for granted because they feel so natural, like they're just part of life. But pause for a second. Not everyone has that kind of support. Having someone who genuinely cares and is there for you when you're feeling down is something to be truly grateful for. It might not fix the bad day or solve your problems, but having someone to lean on makes the burden lighter. It's a reminder that you're not going through things alone, and that's something worth appreciating every time it happens. Gratitude is like putting on a new lens, one that shows you things in a better light. You start to see possibilities instead of problems. You notice the blessings instead of only focusing on the burdens. Even in a tough moment, there's always something to appreciate. When you tap into that, your mind starts to calm down. Your challenges don't feel quite so heavy, and you realize that even on your hardest days, there's still good around you. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Gratitude doesn't make your problems disappear, but it gives you the strength to face them head on. It's not about pretending everything's perfect, but about focusing on what's good. So the next time life throws something unexpected your way, take a step back, choose gratitude, and watch how it shifts your whole world. If you found value in this video, you're going to love what we've got next. Check out Stoic Strength, Master Your Mind, for more powerful lessons on controlling your emotions and building resilience. It's time to take your mindset to the next level. Click the link, and let's keep growing together.